Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the questions, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? I will both be pulling the messages that I just mentioned, as well as using my experience as a spiritual coach to help you move past your limiting beliefs and create the life of your dreams. If that does not sound like something you are interested in, then this very well might not be your reading. As always, I've gone ahead and pulled the overall energy for the reading and clarified those messages. I have the tarot deck already shuffled that we'll be jumping into, as well as the decks that I'll be using in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. All right, Scorpio, let's look at your recent past. You have It's Time to Release Negativity with the Seven of Swords. I feel like I'm reading this message in a couple of different ways. First, I feel like you've been kind of pushed by the universe into having to experience a pretty great unknown. Not really knowing how a situation's going to pan out, if it's going to pan out, what it's going to look like, what your next steps are. And I feel like that you could have very much been blindsided. Now, I also feel with the Seven of Swords that there's a lot you don't like in addition to that unknown, it's like there's a lot of good that you don't know that can come from whatever it is that you've been going through. Because I do feel like, sometimes when we have negativity kind of trapped in our body, trapped in our mind, and our subconscious, the universe puts us through situations to release that so that it can no longer control us. I'm not exactly sure what that's talking about in terms of specifics yet, but we'll see when we dive into tarot. In your current energy, you have surrender to the divine with the Three of Wands. I do feel like the universe is really pushing you out of your comfort zone right now, or is asking you to take steps out of your comfort zone. I feel like there's this need to see things from a bigger perspective and see that the universe really does have kind of like a plan laid out for you, but you have to surrender to it, right? In order for the universe, for us to co-create with the universe, we have to be willing to let the universe do some of the work too, which involves, having to lean on that faith that the universe does have your back. In your immediate future, you have a fiery climax approaches with the Justice card. I feel like I don't know. I feel like this is everything. It just feels like everything's kind of leading up to you getting what you deserve in a pretty I don't know, with this fiery climax approaches card, like a pretty unexpected way. I feel like you're going to get your justice in a situation, but it's going to be kind of unexpected. Like it's not going to be what you thought it was. I think it's going to be better. I think it's going to be exactly what you want to happen. It just might not be in alignment with your expectations. But let's start by looking at your recent past, clarifying it's time to release negativity with the Seven of Swords. This is recent past for Scorpio, please. Recent past for Scorpio, please. One more. Recent past for Scorpio, please. This is for Scorpio's recent past. This is for Scorpio's recent past. The World and the Wheel of Fortune. See, that's kind of what I felt like. Remember that the closer that you get to the end of a cycle, the more intense that cycle will seem, the more heavy everything will seem, the scarier things will seem, the more unknown you'll be experiencing. But if you allow yourself to fully close that cycle and not fall back on old habits and old survival, techniques, you will close that cycle and the wheel will start to turn in your favor. And I feel like that's what you were dealing with your recent past with the World and the Wheel of Fortune. It's like you were coming to the end of completing a pretty intense cycle. And I feel like you still kind of are, or like almost like you're in the you're dealing with the aftermath of the cycle in your current energy. But I do feel like that's why things kind of feel so heavy in your recent past, is because you were like at the end of a cycle, and the end of a cycle can last for like months to years, right? It's not like it's just a couple weeks kind of thing. Time is certainly all relative to your experience. And so you could have been stuck in this energy for a while, but it was to help you kind of complete some sort of pretty intense and painful cycle here. Recent past for Scorpio. Recent past for Scorpio. See, but that's like with the Wheel of Fortune and that Seven of Swords. Like I do feel like the wheel is trying to turn in your favor once this cycle is complete. Okay. Some situation in your life, and maybe this could be many situations, and this is kind of what the cycle was, we're very one-sided. You were giving a lot, but it's not even just talking about reciprocation necessarily, which obviously is kind of where one-sided comes from, but just like you were in a lot of situations that maybe benefited other people, or where you were doing a lot for other people, but it wasn't really equally benefiting you. Like you were giving a lot and not receiving a lot back, or you were, you know, trying really hard to make somebody else happy, but you weren't really receiving the happiness that you deserved. Like it just feels like something that you were involved in, and maybe again this is like a cycle in a lot of different areas of your life where you're used to these kind of one-sided situations, and it doesn't even necessarily need to be in relationships. Like it can be in careers, right, where you feel like you do a lot of work for a boss or a company and you don't really ever receive anything reciprocal in return. I feel like these situations made you lose a lot of hope that things were ever going to get better. And, you know, you were looking for things to get better and to improve, and maybe you were investing in situations hoping that they would improve, but nothing ever came to fruition. Like you were kind of always wanting things to be better, like always in a situation where you were wanting things to be better and not feeling like you were where you wanted to be. And that was really kind of what this cycle was about, is knowing that you deserve to be where you're appreciated, where you belong, where you're loved, where you're valued. And I feel like you haven't found that place yet. And it doesn't mean that you're like on the wrong path or doing the wrong thing. It just means that you haven't gotten to where you're trying to go. In some way, shape, or form. Again, this could just be talking about relationships. This could just be talking about your career. This could be talking about relationships and your career and everything. So do take it as it resonates, because these are general readings. They're not going to resonate fully for everyone. But what I'm really seeing with your recent past is that there was a lot of, I feel like you experienced like a lot of pretty painful situations either coming to an end or having a pretty intense outcome. And it just feels like you got so used to that it was almost hard for you to believe that anything else was really possible for you. But let's get more. Scorpio's recent past. More recent past for Scorpio, please. Four of Swords in reverse, Four of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. The Seven of Wands and the Death card on the back. Your soul, especially in your recent past, is tired of this instability, tired of feeling like maybe getting the rug ripped out from underneath you, being blindsided by certain outcomes, just feeling this level of not like it feels like every time you feel like you get your feet back on the ground, the rug gets ripped out from underneath you again. Or every time you feel like you build, you know, things kind of come crashing down in some way, shape, or form, and your soul is like, man, I'm tired of this. You were tired of it, right? And so I feel like the cycle, you know, when we invest in situations that are one-sided, the universe will eventually rip us from those, because the universe will teach us in some way, shape, or form that we are better than what it is that we are settling for. And that can often look like our life falling apart, or like I said, like rug getting ripped out from underneath you, or just kind of feeling like worst case scenarios are happening. But in reality, what's really happening is the universe is kind of like saying, hey, get out of that situation. We've got something better for you. But obviously you don't know that when it's happening. You're a human being having a human experience. So when you go through situations like that, it just feels painful and scary, and the unknown is overwhelming. And I feel like that's kind of what you were dealing with. But what you don't know, or what you maybe don't yet know, is that whatever you've been through, especially in your recent past, has been kind of setting the stage for the outcome that you were looking for in the situations that didn't really work out. So I do feel like there's a purpose to what you've been through in your recent past. But let's get more. Current energy for Scorpio, clarifying surrender to the divine, and the Three of Wands. Current energy for Scorpio, clarifying surrender to the divine, with the Three of Wands. One more. All right. Current energy for Scorpio, please. Current energy for Scorpio. Okay. One of the most important things to remember is that your expectations create your reality. What you expect to happen in your future is going to be in alignment with what you believe about your reality, and your movements, choices, and decisions are going to align with those beliefs and therefore create your reality. Right now, you have a pretty negative view about where you're headed. Now, I do feel like that negative view is a product of a couple of things. First of all, what you've been through, what you've experienced, how things have kind of collapsed and came crashing down. And, all of these experiences that you have had have been internalized in some way as the belief of like, relationships always end. I always get the short end of the stick. There's no point in trying because things always go wrong, like whatever, the case is. And that then gives you a negative perception of your future, and therefore your movement, choices, and decisions are going to align with that. So that's one thing. And then also, I feel like you don't love your current circumstances, is what I'm gathering from this. You don't love where you're at. You wish you could be somewhere else. And I'm here to tell you that you absolutely can be. If you don't like your circumstances, if you are unhappy with the life that you are currently living, it is so much in your power to be able to make the changes that you need to get to where you do want to be. But you have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone to do that, because when you have experienced so much going wrong and you have internalized those limiting beliefs, that has actually become your comfort zone. Getting the short end of the stick, getting screwed over, feeling these towers happen, feeling burnt out, feeling alone, feeling scared, all of the things that you've been dealing with, that's become your comfort zone because your ego really hates when things aren't predictable. And although the cycle that you've been stuck in has been painful and it's been challenging and it's been, it's burned you out and it's made things incredibly difficult for you, you know exactly what those negative feelings feel like. And so your ego is, it will protect you from taking steps out of your comfort zone because it wants that predictability. And I feel like that's kind of what you're dealing with right now, is there's this need to let go and realize that the more that you can look at what has happened to you through the lens of everything happens for me, not to me, the more that those miracles can start to take place in your life. Now, in order to do that, you have to be willing to take responsibility for what your current circumstances are. That does not mean taking the responsibility off of other people who have hurt you and other situations that have happened to you. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that the only person you can control is yourself. And so if you feel like you've been a victim, or you feel like you've been mistreated, or you feel like you've gotten, screwed over in some way, shape, or form, the only way that you can be able to actually move forward from this cycle without feeling like you have to repeat it to learn the lesson is to take responsibility for your role in things. And sometimes that's, well, I didn't think I deserved any better, and so I settled, or I thought that was as good as it was ever going to get for me, and so I stayed longer than I should have. There's so many ways that we can take responsibility for the things that happen to us without, it doesn't mean that you do it with judgment. It doesn't mean it's your fault. Like, the way that you've internalized your limiting beliefs about what you're deserving of and what you're capable of, that's a product of what you've experienced, right? It's not a product of who you are. And so there's a need to understand that when we take our power back and we take responsibility for the things that have happened to us, we open up an opportunity to be able to change our life in ways that we never would have been able to when we're looking at ourselves like from the lens of being a victim. Now, it's not me saying that you are not a victim or that you are not valid in feeling the way that you do. What it is me saying is that if you look at your life from the lens of I am a victim, you will continue to be put in situations where you feel like a victim, and you don't. You want to feel powerful. You want to feel in control of your life. You want to feel capable, right? And in order to get to that point, we have to be willing to take responsibility for, what? There's a quote I really like, actually, that I'm going to say, and it's something along to the tune of, I really like the quote, but I don't remember it. To the tune of, one of the most important aspects of your healing is taking responsibility for the role you've played in your own suffering. And it's hard to do, right? When you've been through such painful experiences, but you have such a negative outlook because things feel so out of your control. The more that you can take your power back and regain control of where you're headed, the less that you're going to have to feel those uncomfortable negative feelings that you do right now. Current energy for Scorpio. One more. Current energy for Scorpio, please. Current energy for Scorpio. So you're in this Three of Swords energy. You've gotten your heart broken. And I feel like you've gotten your heart broken. Yeah, and there's the Ten of Swords energy. My goodness, Scorpio, you've gotten your heart broken over and over and over again. And I feel like that's what I keep kind of talking about. Like, it's like this cycle of you try your best and you end up in this painful, situation. And I feel like this has been a cycle that has repeated. And I also feel like that's why, like, and I kind of felt this whenever I was like talking about that message of taking responsibility, taking your power back, taking, looking at your life at like the role that you've played in your own suffering. I feel like that was probably triggering for a lot of people out there. Not because I don't think that you can't see the truth of what I'm saying. I think because you have been through a lot of hell. And it's easy to get angry whenever you've been through the things that you have been through, right? But I do feel like in order to step out of your comfort zone, surrender to the divine, and not have to repeat past experiences, the only way forward is to be able to see what you need to do differently, right? If you want to experience different, you've got to move different. And if you want to move different, you've got to believe different. It really does all start from those inner beliefs that you have. Current energy for Scorpio, please. So you're struggling right now, Scorpio, but the universe is asking you to surrender and understand that things really are going to work out for you, even if you don't know how. Current energy for Scorpio. And remember, these are general readings. They're not going to resonate fully for everyone. So if you're mad at me, this might not be your reading. Hang on. I was talking through that. I want to reshuffle. Current energy for Scorpio, please. Current energy for Scorpio, please. Okay, there we go. This is for Scorpio's current energy. They're all in reverse. Six of Pentacles in reverse, Queen of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, Three of Pentacles. Okay. Six of Swords in reverse. Okay, so you feel stuck right now. I mean, Scorpio, I feel like you've been on the receiving end of bare minimum effort for a lot of your life. From people, from just kind of a lot of people in your life. Like, I don't know. It just feels like you're kind of used to that. And it, when you receive that kind of energy for your whole life, you start to believe that that's all that you're deserving of, right? On some level, you start to internalize it as this is what my experience is just going to be about. And you stop believing that what you want, the Ten of Pentacles, the life of your dreams, you stop believing in that. You start believing in the limitations that have been placed on you through your experience, right? But what I'm trying to get through to you is that what you are capable of and what your life is capable of becoming is not limited to what you have experienced. When we look at our future through the lens of what we've experienced and we say, this is all that's possible for me, what we do is we then align our movement, choices, and decisions with that belief, and we stay stuck in the same cycles, the same habits. We experience the same relationships with different people, the same outcomes, the same pain, the same lessons over and over and over again. And so what you're needing to do is, first and foremost, recognize that you are valid for feeling the way you do. I'm not trying to invalidate your feelings or your experience. What I am trying to say is that what you have been through is such a small freaking percentage of what is possible for you. There is a life out there beyond your wildest dreams that you are more than capable of achieving. But the only person who can get you there is you. And the only way that you can get there is when you start to lean on the universe's guidance to get you there. I really feel like a lot of this is like you getting your justice, you getting your 10 of Pentacles, you feeling like you're getting what you deserve out of situation. Like, you've put so much into so many different things and you've received very little back. Maybe you were always getting passed up for the promotion, or you're always, making less money than your peers, or you're always, you feel like people like are always screwing you over in some way, shape, or form. And it's kind of gotten to the point where I feel like, Scorpio, you kind of expect that. And your expectations create your reality. So the more that you expect that things are going to go not your way, the more that things are going to not go your way. But you expect things to not go your way because you have these unhealed experiences from your past. So I do really feel like this is talking about reframing your past from a perspective of that happened to me to what can I learn from this so that I don't repeat those same cycles and lessons. All right, immediate future for Scorpio. I feel like this is going to be a really triggering, or this is a really triggering reading for some people out there. So bear with me because I do feel like it's positive in the end. Immediate future for Scorpio, clarifying a fiery climax approaches with the Justice card. Immediate future for Scorpio, please. This is for Scorpio's immediate future. Reframing your perspective on your past. Yeah, because there's the Six of Cups, the Empress, the Ten of Wands, the Fool in reverse, and the Hierophant. Reframing your perspective of your past is what will lead you to your new beginning. When we have certain beliefs, because remember, 95% of our movements, choices, and decisions stems from our subconscious. Only 5% of the way that we interact with our reality is conscious. When we have certain beliefs about what's possible for us or what we deserve, we will then set out to prove those beliefs right on a subconscious level. So if we feel undeserving of love, we will often get involved with people who make us feel undeserving of love. When we feel like we're not capable of making the money that we want, we will often choose jobs and careers that will never be able to provide us with the income that we deserve and desire, because most of the time we're trying to prove our limiting beliefs right. Now, consciously, you're trying to get the situation to become what you want it to be, right? You're trying to shift your control of your reality into from like what something is to what what you want it to be. And when we do that, we block ourselves out from the universe's guidance to actually being able to bring us what it is that we want and desire. And so the only way that you can change your reality, change your life, change, your current circumstances, is reframing the way you think about your past. I feel like I've said that several times in this reading, but I feel like it's really needing to come through. If you can reframe what has happened into a lesson and realize what you needed to learn, what decisions you made that you maybe wouldn't make again, then you can start to move forward with the belief and the confidence that you're not going to repeat what has happened to you. Those cycles are not going to repeat anymore because you've learned what you needed to. You are a different person now. You're not going to settle for less than what you deserve, and you're going to make sure that the situations in your life align with what you deserve and nothing less. But you're not going to be able to get to that point until you reframe, the situation in your past, whatever this is kind of talking about back here, which is hard to do. Immediate future for Scorpio, please. Immediate future for Scorpio. One more. Immediate future for Scorpio, please. Queen of Cups and King of Cups, whether you're male or female. There you are. Then you have the Justice, which we're clarifying here. And then the Four of Wands. It's like you're looking for like the finish line. You've been dealing with this cycle for so long and you're looking for the finish line. But it's like you're trying to move forward while holding on to the past. And that will never work because you can't drag the past with you to where you're going. There is a need to surrender and to let go. I mean, you have surrender to the divine here, and you have the hangman in reverse, which is another way of surrendering. When you can let go and put a little bit more faith in the universe and allow the universe to guide you to where you want to be, you want to go, you will watch miracles happen. Because I do feel like things are leading to you getting what you deserve. Like I do. I feel like it's all leading to like this justice. But I also feel like the universe can try to bring you that all day long, but you've got to do your part too. And so the universe wants to bring it to you, but you're blocking it, right? And so you're needing to let go and kind of let the universe bring in whatever it is that you need. I'm trying to think of like a situation that I could put that into words. Like if you haven't healed from a relationship that betrayed you, right? If you were in a relationship and that were like a friendship or any kind of situation, that relationship betrayed you, you try to move on, but you haven't healed that betrayal. So from your perspective, you still look at it from anyone is going to betray me and I have to always have my guard up. And so you hold on to that experience and you try to move forward. Well, in any situation that you then try to create, you're going to have this belief anyone can betray me. I'm going to be betrayed in this relationship. And your movement choices and decisions are going to align with that belief, and you will end up sabotaging that situation. You can't move on while holding on to what it is that you have, because when you're not able to see the lesson in the experience, you look at the experience as a burden and you look at it as something that is only negative, right? And I'm not saying the situation wasn't negative, but being able to find the other side, there's two sides of a coin, right? And being able to find that other side, because you can't have the dark without the light, can't have the light without the dark. When you can find the other side of the situation, okay, yes, that sucked, but what was it trying to teach me? You will watch yourself transform from a person who believes that their reality is outside of their control to someone who realizes that you have more control than you realize. But the only way to do that is to look at your past from a learning perspective instead of a like a victim mentality. And I'm not saying again that you were not a victim, but you also don't want to continue to be a victim, right? And when I say victim, I mean like it's not. I'm not saying that you weren't treated poorly, or like that you didn't get the short end of the stick. I'm just saying that there's a lesson in there somewhere, right? Immediate future for Scorpio. The Temperance, Seven of Cups, the Lovers. Okay. There's a need to be patient with the universe right now, because you're looking for the answers and you're looking for the next step and you're looking for the guidance and the universe. But like the more that you search for it, the less it can find you in a way. And I feel like that sounds kind of cheesy, but it's true. There really is this need, Scorpio, to like take a deep breath and lean into faith, lean into trust, believe that what you deserve and in any situation is going to come your way. Because this Lovers, I mean, that's talking about what it is that you deserve, right? And I feel like you're needing to see that a lot of why you haven't received what you deserved is because you've been investing in situations that you don't deserve. I saw this quote that kind of hit me and I was like, oof. It was like, if you're not changing it, you're choosing it. If you settle for situations and people that do not bring you your worth and do not make you happy, what you are doing is you are choosing that situation and you are affirming to the universe, this is all I deserve. Whenever you want to start creating the life of your dreams and attracting the people and situations that align with you, you have to start getting real picky. and you start saying, no, this person doesn't respect my boundaries, this person doesn't treat me well, this person isn't open-minded when it comes to my beliefs, this person doesn't make me feel, powerful, they make me feel small. Like, you have to start getting picky with the people that you choose, because you only have so much energy to give. And if you give energy away to people that don't deserve it, you're going to consistently get back energy that you don't deserve, or no energy at all, which is going to leave you pouring from an empty cup. So this is about you learning that you are more powerful than you realize, and that the justice in your life, that's going to come. Karma is a very real thing. And when people do you wrong, they're going to get their karma. When people hurt you, they're going to get their karma. Just like you've gotten your karma, just like you experience good karma and bad karma, the universe has to maintain a balance, and it's going to do that for you. But in order for you to move on, you've got to let go of the past. And, don't be so worried about getting your justice. Just know your justice is going to come. That's the biggest thing. Your justice is going to come. Don't worry about it. The universe has to maintain balance. All right, Scorpio, I am going to hop on over to the extended. I'm going to clarify these messages, and then I have an affirmation card to pull for you at the end. Thank you so much, Scorpio, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. Bye, Scorpio.